Right, all righty, you are looking live at Sold Out MetLife Stadium, where today the 16-win playoff-bound New York Giants are taking on the 0-16 Dallas Cowboys. And why the Dallas Cowboys 0-16? Because they suck. They get knocked out of the first round of the playoffs again this past season. They got smoked at home by the Green Bay Packers. The Dallas Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl in about almost 30 years. Dallas Cowboys suck. I love when I get to say that. Dallas sucks. Welcome to the Gridiron. Anybody out there at all? Who's going to spend a little bit of time with me here this evening? I greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching a replay this once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. Thank you. Going to try to go about 30 minutes here tonight. Shoot my mouth off for about 30 minutes. Anybody got anything to say, please feel free to fire away. Throw it in the chat box there. I usually try to check on the chat box it'd be 5 or 10 minutes or so. So as soon as I see something in there, I try to respond to it as fast as I can. But Buzz also, instead of me just rambling on half an hour, 45 minutes, or whatever it might want to be, it's just nice talking to another Giant fan. So please feel free. Once again, fire away. Before I get started, if anybody wants to help support my channel out, it would mean the absolute world to me. Any of the description box, the very top link in the description box takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. The first one's called the Saquon. The second one I got is called the Lawrence Taylor. And the third membership level I got is called the Gridiron. Each one's got their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I would thank you in advance. Thank you. If you are subscribed to my channel, once again, thank you. I can use all the support I can get, guys. But if not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge, right? What do you got to lose? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Maybe give this video a thumbs up or share it. That'd be freaking awesome. And then finally, also, just a little ways down in the description box, there's 2 additional links. The top one's a Facebook link, which I'll go over in just a second. Then the one underneath it, I'm an old-time fart. Can't stand change. I'm one of them. Get off my lawn. Kind of old-time farts, right? It's a Twitter link. I can't stand change. I'm used to Twitter. It's always be Twitter to me. And it's always been Twitter. Whatever letter of the alphabet Elon Musk wants to call it, that's on you, bro. I ain't calling it that. It's Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. I'll follow you back. That's an absolute promise. I try to put Giants-related stuff in my Twitter account every day. Excuse me, I'm all choked up over here. And then finally, the link on top of it takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. Very original, I know. Basically, because it's the same name as my YouTube channel. But the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 8,100 members in the group. It's doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I have internet access, I'm putting stuff in this group darn near 365. And not only do I put stuff in this group, but the members post stuff in this group as well, too. So between me and the members, there's a boatload of New York Giants information going in this group every day. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You won't be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, with all that stuff said and done and out of the way with, well, Giants keep them busy. They signed a little some familiarity here once again, right? Stuff you never know when things are, I don't want to say come full circle or whatever, but you never know when you're playing, for somebody and that assistant GM who's up in the booth watching you or whatever, like they might want to bring you in somewhere along the line, maybe to be on his team. So you never know. Now, this is not somebody, we're going to be building a dynasty around or nothing like that. Once again, I got 342,000 tabs up over here. But, they brought in a little familiarity here, right? Jordan Phillips, big dude. Basically, he's kind of like, if you want to call it, kind of like, an Oshane was big dude. My God, big. But I'll tell you what, you put Phillips and Sexy next to each other, you got yourself about 700 pounds of beef right in there. That's going to be some tough guys to move. Let me tell you what. Okay, but once again, he's over 30 years old. Okay, we'll go over some of the stats and whatever, all that, just in a little bit. But, just bringing in a veteran presence, okay? And bringing in some more depth, some more competition, okay? So you start looking at it now. I mean, right? I mean, we got Sexy Dexy, right? I don't remember the complete. I'm sure I'm going to miss at least somebody, but I don't have the complete depth chart. But we got Sexy Dexy, we got Phillips now, we got Nacho, right? We got DJ Davidson, Jordan Riley, Ryder Anderson. I'm sure I know there's probably at least another one or two guys I'm missing. I'd have to look at the depth chart, but so we're in. We got some depth. Okay, I would still really love, because for me anyway, everything starts in the trenches. Whether we need I don't know what, I don't know what they're going to do with Isaiah Simmons, right? We're looking at him to be maybe a safety. Are we going to get some safety help in the draft? Who knows? We could certainly probably use a cornerback and all, but for me, I like to start in the trenches there. We're really close. If we can get ourselves a real good stud, it makes it almost kind of start to think that maybe we won't draft somebody really early on, maybe as a defensive in the trenches. I don't know, because we got so many guys now. Only so many are going to make the team. Only so many are going to have a uniform in the 53. So kind of makes you think maybe they might go a different direction, early on anyway. Because we still got some holes to fill. Okay, let's not forget. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but let's see. So the Giants signed veteran defensive tackle Jordan Phillips, 6'6", 340-pound, big dude. Oklahoma product has played in 120 games. He's had 62 starts throughout his career with Buffalo. 2 stints with the Bills, 2018 and 19. That's where the familiarity, right, with Dable and Shane, right? Past 2 seasons with the Bills. Obviously, Shane and Dable were not there, but 2018 and 19. There's the familiarity there, right? Then he spent 2 seasons with the Cardinals, and it looks like his first 4 seasons were with the Dolphins. Now, so he's been around. He's been around a little while. Okay. The Dolphins, who selected him in the second round of the 2015 NFL draft. It's just overall a very good, solid. He's a very solid career. Nothing super spectacular. But for a defensive tackle for second round pick, he's had a nice career, right? He's also appeared in 3 postseason games, 2 with Buffalo and 1 with Miami. His career numbers include 181 tackles, 36 for loss, 24 sacks, including a personal best. He had 9.5 in 1 season with the Bills in 2019. He also had 51 quarterback hits, 24. Somehow, I don't know how this happened. His 24 passes defensed. I don't know. Now you got a 6'6" guy, 340 pounds out there defensing passes, but 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, and a partridge in a pear tree. The 1 interception was off of Ryan Fitzpatrick during a win for the Dolphins over the Jets in 2016. Last season, Phillips played in 14 games with Buffalo and batted down a career-high 5 passes to go along with 2.5 sacks. He started 9 consecutive games at defensive tackle before he had a wrist injury. So I tell you what, he was on, 14 games, so he would have played, another. Obviously, if he looked like he was on his way, possibly to playing almost in every game for Buffalo, 2.5 sacks, right? A 2-year starter at Oklahoma. Phillips was named second team All Big 12 in 2014. Prior to college, he was an Under Armour All-American at Circle High School in Towanda, Kansas, where he played 7 different positions. 7. Want to talk about versatility, huh? He was a fullback, slot back, tight end, linebacker, interior lineman, punter, and a kicker. Wow. Phillips is also an all-state performer in basketball and baseball. So you want to talk about, Talk about an overall good athlete. You're looking at him right there. All right. But as I said, right here, he's 31. He'll be 32 in the beginning of the season, right? 32. He's 31 and a half. He'll be 32 in the middle of September. So, all right. So, I mean, if we signed him, it's probably a 1-year deal. I can't, he's just a torch holder, to beef up the defensive line. To make, I would really like to see us add like another little stud, next to Sexy Dexy. But once again, we have other holes we need to fill. So quite possibly maybe we can add that maybe next season or whatever. As I said, we had Leonard Williams and we had Dexter Lawrence. Nice 1-2 combo right there. And then you got your two guys on it. I mean, I'd like to get somebody a little special if we could next to Sexy. But as I said, it doesn't have to be this season. It could be this season or next season. I'm always looking at this season and next season. After the draft next season, what are we looking like? Right? We shouldn't have too, we might have to start maybe working maybe a little more into depth or whatever like that. But I said between the draft this season, the draft next season, and special teams, I was going to say, and free agency next season, because we should have a little bit of money, especially if Darren Waller were to retire. And if I'm just saying, throwing this out there, if we were to get rid of Daniel Jones after the season, once again, I'm just saying, I have no idea. We would have a nice little bit of money for next season to spend. And how we brought in a Brian Burns this year, well, I don't know if we're going to be spending $30 million a season on a particular player next year, but we should be able to bring in a couple guys, at least one, if not two, maybe to plug in and fill a couple holes that we have. Right. So we'll see what we got here, right, this season, right? And to see, I don't know if we're going to rock and roll with Belton and Pinnock and Javarius Owens as our main safeties. And then, we'll see how that works out. And maybe next season we can go after a safety, I have to wait and see, right? Same thing with Waller. We still waiting on him. Don't want to rush him. But we're going to need, sooner or later, we're going to need a receiving threat of a tight end, to replace Waller. Now, to go out there and get somebody to specifically replace Waller, the threat that, the size that he is, the athletic ability he has and all that stuff and everything is hard to replace. But you can certainly, get at least a decent receiving tight end, a decent threat. As I said, because, between Adoree Jackson, Stahl, Manhurts, Cager, Bellinger, none of those five guys are keeping the defensive coordinators up around the league. They're like, oh, man, these New York Giant tight ends, oh, my God, they're probably going to catch like 30 passes on us next time we play. No, they're not. Everybody, all the defensive coordinators around the league are sleeping like little babies thinking about the New York Giants tight ends. I can tell you that much, right? But which is going to also bring us to one of my little. They brought in somebody for one of their visits who might be one of the overall all around best tight ends in the draft. Because it's not Brock Bowers, the freakish, kind of athlete and all that he is, a threat, receiving threat. You're not getting much out of him in the blocking, right? It's kind of like when we drafted Evan Ingram, right? A mismatch, a threat in the passing game. You're not going to get a lot out of him in the blocking, right? So, but I mean, they brought in somebody, who's like an all-around guy who may not be a bad pickup for the Giants. I don't know if they can get him maybe the second or third round. So, but getting a little ahead of myself right here. But so if you look at Jordan Phillips last season, okay, he did not really grade out overall too well. Okay, he's somebody who you get some snaps out of, right? As I said, he'll be 32 in September, but he's a big dude. Okay, but this is his grades last season, according to PFF. That's all I'm going by. I'm never going to sat here, spent 3.5 hours, today watching every snap he took last season. I broke it down. I charted it. I did this. No, I'm not going to say that. All right, so that's why I got PFF. They give me somewhat of a decent, accurate kind of account of what happened to him last season. Okay. And if they say his overall grade was a 35.8, I ain't going to argue, all right? Now, you can certainly argue with this, the 35.8, but if according to PFF, his overall grade last season with PFF was a 35.8. He really wasn't a Pro Bowler. Okay. Now, as I said, you look here, his run defense was a 30. His tackling, 25.3. Once again, here's some depth. Whether he makes the team or not, he may not even make the team. Who knows? But you do know it was for some depth, and he was probably on the cheap, too. Okay. The shame of it is that A'Shawn Robinson, who had a very good final, I'm going to say 4 or 5 games or so, whatever it was for the Giants last season, because he was making some tackles last season in the run game. He was really, I'll tell you what, it's a shame we didn't bring him back. But you can't, the way the NFL has it, it's the way they want it, You can't keep everybody, right? His pass rush wasn't bad last season, 57.4, but overall, graded out of 35.8. Not super spectacular. Okay. Obviously the last season, that was his worst season. Now, whether he had a hamstring, a problem with the groin, maybe his knee was banged up or something, which might all season long. Because you'll notice here, his first week against the Jets, he was 69.7, then a 54.9. Then he kind of, then he kind of hit a wall here against the Commanders. Now, as I said, did he get injured like here? And the rest of the season, he was kind of playing a little banged up before he injured his wrist, and he was out for the rest of his. I don't know. But as I said, look, in 2022, he graded out of 50, 62.7, 54, 51, 59.9, 58. You know what I mean? So, decent numbers, right? But last season was not super spectacular for him. Okay. We got here. So with Buffalo, he played in 14 games. He started 9. Okay, 2022, he played in 12 games, started 1. So, he started in about half the games, right? And I said, if you look here, sack total, he's got 24 sacks, right? That one season, 2019, he had 9.5 sacks, right? But as I said, he'll be 32 this year, right? I'm sure it's probably a 1-year deal. He's like a torch holder. And you don't even know. He may not even make the team. Who knows? I said, because we got a lot of guys now in the defensive interior. And as I said, that certainly can be one of the positions that the Giants draft as well, too. So, but the Giants are keeping busy. Then we got, before I do the running back here, okay, they got, I guess it's Sinnott, Ben Sinnott from K-State, right? They brought him in. They got a couple guys here. They brought in, obviously the tight end position is up in the air for the Giants here because you have no idea what ballers don't. But he quite possibly here, right, could be the best overall receiving threat / blocker, okay, where you'll give Brock Bowers maybe a 10 receiving threat and whatever, a 2 blocking or 4 block, whatever. This guy here, Sinnott, could be maybe a 7 receiver or maybe a 6 or 7 blocking or something. You know what I mean? So overall, he could be maybe the best value at the tight end position. All right. Darren Waller hasn't decided if he's going to play or retire. Bellinger is a young and still untapped potential. Stahl spent the last 3 seasons in Philadelphia, but doesn't have a lot to show for it. And Manhurts has been around for 8 years and has 271 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns in his career. Okay. Not only do the Giants need a tight end who can catch the ball, but they need one who can help block for Daniel Jones as well, too. So, I mean, so if it was somebody like him, if they had the 2 tight end set, right, he would be a decent blocker. And Bellinger needs to get a little bit better. He did well his rookie season. Last season, he seemed to take a step backwards. But hopefully maybe Priscilla can maybe get him back on the right track. Right? Waller had a decent season last year despite the team's struggles, and Bellinger can certainly learn from him. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to have another youngster come in and help push Bellinger to perform better. That is why K-State tight end Ben Sinnott visited the Giants on Thursday. This is pretty impressive, let me tell you. What is he? He's 6'4", 245. So if you put now he's not going to, I mean, if he has a little growth spurt left, then he might get 6'5", but pretty much he's 6'4". But you can certainly add some weight to him, make him 250 or 255. That would be a very nice size for a tight end. 6'4", you like if you can get some 6'5" or 6'6", would it be even better, obviously. But 6'4" is okay, but 245 is nice. But I said he's just a baby, right? Add about 5 or 10 pounds more muscle on him in the initial couple years that he's playing, get him up to 250, 255. Very nice. But 4.68 in the 40, not bad. 40-inch vertical, nice. 10.6 broad jump, very nice. 6.82 on the 3-cone, 4.23 shuttle. We're either number one or near the top. Okay. Giants have some competition now on Sinnott, who also visits the Carolina Panthers on Wednesday. Let's see. He stands 6'4", 245, a solid size for an NFL tight end. While at K-State, he recorded 82 receptions for 1,138 yards and 10 touchdowns. He also carried the ball 3 times for 12 yards and additional touchdown. If he can maintain his improvement year over year, something he did all 3 seasons at K-State, then he will definitely be a force in the NFL. Now, if we look here, right, this past season, according to PFF, that's all I'm going by once again, right? Graded at an 82 overall. His pass receiving grade, would be an 81. His pass blocking was a 72.8, and his run blocking 76.1. Very nice. Now, let's see what. Okay, so what do we got? Pass blocking 72 and 76, or I say 73 and 76, right? So let's see if we can go here. 73 and 76. Brock. Right. Boom. All right. There we go. 71 and 62. That's not too bad, actually. That's not too bad, although I'm sure he's not asked to do it as much. Okay. But 71, that's not too bad. Okay. But 62, that's not too bad either. Honestly, these numbers, I'd never even seen these numbers before, Brock Bowers, right? But look, he graded out, his offensive grade was a 90 2 seasons ago. 3 seasons ago, 92.1. Freakish athlete. But I'll tell you what, I am, once again, the college game and the pro game, if the draft gurus say he's not going to be the most intense or greatest pass blocker or blocker tight end, I'm going to agree with them. Okay. But overall, these are not bad numbers, so I'm rather impressed with Brock Bowers. But Sinnott here, I'm sure, would probably be the better option. He's a bigger option as well, too, especially in the blocking game. As I said, we got here. So this past season, he caught 49 catches for 6 touchdowns. The year before, they had 31 for 4. Okay. So you see the 82 catches, 1,138 yards, 10 touchdowns. So basically, in college, 1 out of every 8 times he caught the ball was for a touchdown. All right. So we'll have to wait and see. But they just brought him in, right? But somebody like him, right? I don't even know. Let's see here. Okay, this is Jordan Phillips. So let's go here. Let me go here. Let me see what I'm trying to see what NFL fantasy betting NFL draft, NFL big board, where they have Sinnott located at tight ends. What number? Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Okay. All right. What? Wow. Really? I don't know. That's weird. I've heard some nice things about Stover as well, too. But, if you look in here, Sinnott, he's the 6th highest graded, but they got him 130. 130, that's not too bad. Especially if you consider, there's a ton of freakish athletic wide receivers who are in front of him. I mean, there's a boatload of them. And then you got your running backs, your edge rushers, your cornerbacks. So 133, right? But as I said, I've also heard some good things about Stover, too, who was the 19th highest graded. Let's see, is there anybody else? Oh, Sanders. Okay, yeah. But so you figure 133 is what, like fourth round? Fourth, maybe fifth round. So the Giants at the top of the fifth round. Well, you figure there's going to be some compensatory picks in there. So you're looking at fourth round, maybe a fifth round. Let's wait and see. Oh, what do we got down here? Did I got anything on them? Analysis. Here we go. All right. Sinnott is a true jack of all trades tight end who can line up in the backfield, on a line of scrimmage, and as a receiver. His game lacks a true trump card, but he's the type of football player every NFL team wants in their tight end room as a versatile role player. Quick athlete, which is not common for tight ends. Versatile movement skills, a fast split zone and lead blocker. Not the strongest, but a willing blocker, which is all you can ask for. But maybe not the strongest. However, what can you work on? You can work on your strength. You can work on adding some muscle. You can work on adding some strength. And if he's just a baby, if each year he gets a little bit stronger, man, by the time he's in his fourth or fifth season, I'm not saying he's ready to take on the world, but you give the guy 3, 4, 5 years of hitting the weights and all that with some size and some strength and all of that, I'm sure he can be a very capable blocker. Now, cons, he can get overpowered somewhat easily by bigger defensive ends. However, once again, right? Okay. Work on some size and some strength. Just because he comes out of college, 6'4", 245 does not mean he's a finished product. Once again, work on his skills, but work on his size, add 10 pounds or so of muscle, some strength to him. Yeah, I'm sure he'll still get overmatched, especially by the freakish athletes that we got in the NFL at the defensive end. But, right, he can certainly get better. That's something he can certainly improve on. Hands are fine, but not a major plus. Struggles to get off press coverage. Seems to have shorter arms, which shows up at a catch point when blocking longer pass rushes. That can be a problem. But surprisingly lacks special teams experience. Interesting. But I'm sure they'll probably try to put him on special teams. So, but hey, maybe a fifth round pick or so. Because the Giants certainly need, whether it's this season or next season, they're going to need somebody to try to replace Waller. Now, as I said, once again, just to go out there, you just run along, and you just draft somebody to replace. Good luck and God bless, right? 6'6", right? The freakish athlete that Waller can be, right? Very tough to do that, but you can certainly try to get somebody close. Right. And the Giants, without question, whether Waller's there or not, they certainly need another receiving threat at tight end. And they brought in Sinnott. Cool. I'm all for it. Not a third round pick, but as I said, if they had to get him fourth, maybe fifth round, I'm all for it. Absolutely all for it. Let's see now here. Then, of course, they brought in Jayden Daniels to meet with the Vikings, right? Because the Vikings got those 2 first-round picks amid Commanders and Giants NFL Draft 2024 rumors. All right. Minnesota Vikings are looking into one of the top quarterbacks available ahead of the 2024 NFL Draft. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport noted that Thursday that Jayden Daniels' agent, Ron Butler, confirmed the LSU product will participate in a private meeting with the NFC North team. Rappaport also reported Daniels is scheduled to meet with the Giants on Monday, so a couple days from now. This comes after ESPN's Jeremy Fowler previously reported the quarterback was meeting with the Washington Commanders ahead of the draft. So, the Commanders are talking to McCarthy without question, May and Daniels without question. Without question. Let's bring it because they have their choice. Because, you got what? 99 point, I'm going to just straight out 99.9% chance that the Bears are taking Caleb Williams. Okay. So the rest of the board, is up to the Commanders. They have their pick, who they want to pick, right? So I mean, yeah, you can also look at it too. And I'm not saying they're certainly not going to do it. Meaning the Commanders. However, I mean, if they pick 2, right? If they fell in love with Bo Nix or Penix, Milton, one of those other guys, they can get later round. I mean, you know what they can do? I mean, they got pick 2. If somebody could trade up with them, pick up another. Easily, they get the other team's first round pick for this year, but probably pick up maybe another. I mean, especially if you're looking at like maybe the Vikings. The Vikings want to trade up to number 2. They can get their pick 11, right? 11, 23, and quite possibly at least probably another first round pick somewhere along. You trade 1 first rounder for 3. That should be three plug and play players for your team right there. And so then you can maybe get your quarterback, later on. So, but just something to think about. But I mean, without question, the Commanders are bringing in McCarthy, Daniels, and May. No questions asked there. But Giants once again are doing their due diligence because you don't know, you just don't know what's going to happen. You quite possibly know, the Bears quarterback, Commanders quarterback, right? And then quite possibly the Patriots. The Patriots need a lot. Right? Sometimes you want to, build a team and then put the quarterback in there, right? The Patriots are in a very good position to trade back, grab some extra draft capital, right? Help build a team, right? And then somewhere along the line, grab their quarterback and throw their quarterback in there. So, I mean, they're in a good position for that. But once again, the Giants are just doing the due diligence because they have no idea. I mean, the Commanders may not like Daniels, right? So all of a sudden, what we got? May goes 2, right? So then the Patriots trade out and somebody goes hog wild crazy and whatever. They wind up taking McCarthy at 3. Pick 4 could be rolling around. Daniels could be on the board, and the Giants are like, oh my God, Daniels is still there. They're picking. They can be picking the phone up and calling the Cardinals. Cardinals don't need a quarterback, right? And I said there's some good arguments there for the Cardinals, right, to trade with the Giants instead of trading with the Vikings, because they have to trade with the Vikings. They have to go back to number 11. They'll still get a very good player without question, and they'll get pick 23, and I'm sure they'll get something else. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. But what I am saying is that the Cardinals were to trade with the Giants, they fall back 2 spots. Okay. They're not looking for a quarterback. So what they quite possibly would, if they stay at 4, just say they take Harrison, right? They take themselves a wide receiver, give Kyler Murray somebody to throw the ball to. It's like spaghetti meatballs, peanut butter and jelly. That's absolutely perfect. Give Kyler Murray, your quarterback, a stud to throw the football to, right? So, but if the Cardinals want to go back 2 spots with the Giants and just swap with the Giants, they'll pick up a couple, an extra 3rd round pick, an extra 2nd. I don't know exactly what it would be, but they would get themselves at least 1 additional really good pick from the Giants. Should be it could quite possibly be a plug and play player. They say it's a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick, whatever it might wind up being. It could be a 3rd and a 4th, right? But they should get themselves a couple good, at least 1, if not a couple quality picks from the Giants. All right. They just fall back 2 spots. And as crazy as this could be, right? If they were sit at 4, right? Say what Caleb Williams, Daniels, and May goes, right? So they're sitting there at 4. Well, okay, let's get ourselves a wide receiver. We'll take Marvin Harrison Jr. So they stay put at 4, get themselves the wide receiver, a stud the wide receiver of Kyler Murray to throw the ball to. Absolutely fantastic for the Arizona Cardinals. But if they, once again, you don't know with the draft, right? They swap with the Giants. They pick up an additional second round or whatever it is from the Giants, right? Move back 2 spots. The Giants are jumping up, they're not jumping up to get a wide receiver. They're jumping up to grab a quarterback, right? So now the Giants draft the quarterback. So now we're at pick 5, and all 3 of those wide receivers are still there, right? You don't know, right? We're talking Harbaugh. What does Harbaugh like to do? Does Harbaugh like to do this, or does Harbaugh like to do this? Harbaugh likes to. He likes to do that, right? He's got to protect his quarterback, right? Don't want the quarterback getting injured, and he wants to do this. Well, what's the best for that? Take a tackle. Maybe he might take Alt. So the Cardinals could almost trade with the Giants, go back 2 spots, and possibly still have all 3 of those wide receivers there for him. Pick up an extra pick or so from the Giants, and they're sitting pretty at 6, and they still get their pick of any wide receiver they want. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's a possibility, right? So, but as I said, with the Giants just bringing in Daniels, just due diligence, right? Comes after Fowler previously reported the quarterback was meeting with the Commanders. Minnesota will almost assuredly have to trade up if it plans on taking. Oh my God, almost assuredly, yeah. You don't think Daniels will fall to number 11, Tom? Yeah, no. Oh, well, gotta share my screen. There we go. Now better. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. There we go. After all, it has the number 11 pick in the first round, and NFL scouting department recently projected Daniels to go number 3 overall in its latest mock draft. It also ranked him as the 3rd best quarterback available behind May and Caleb Williams in the latest big board. This is an important offseason for the Vikings as they move on from Kirk Cousins' era after the veteran signal caller signed with the Atlanta Falcons. They're reportedly doing their due diligence at the quarterback position. Absolutely. They got 2 first-round picks. They have to do the due diligence on the starting quarterbacks. Absolutely. ESPN's Matt Miller reported Thursday that Minnesota was conducting specialized individual meetings with 5 of the top 6 prospects instead of sending the front office and head coach Kevin O'Connell to various pro days. We want to see them work out in a more intimate setting, a team source told Miller. Get them a little uncomfortable running our workout versus theirs. Oh, which is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Daniels thrived under pressure at LSU and won the Heisman Trophy. But, once again, if the Vikings would again, he's going to be throwing the ball to Justin Jefferson. But, however, he's completed these passes and these yards and these touchdowns and all, blah, 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 right? But he had some fantastic wide receivers he was throwing the ball to. Okay. But if he would go to the Vikings, obviously, as they say right here, he'd be throwing the ball to Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, and Hockenson, and Aaron Jones. He's got some weapons to throw the ball to. So, and then of course, then his running ability is off the charts as well too. So, they're just doing the due diligence with him. That is for sure. But we'll have to wait and see. All right. What the Giants might do at running back in the 2024 NFL draft. Very interesting. Slightly more than 1 year ago. Yeah, things do change, right? Just the 2023 draft, the Giants appeared set at the position with Saquon Barkley, Matt Breida, and then they drafted Eric Gray. Times have changed. Barkley is with the Beagles. Breida is unemployed, and Gray is coming off a weak first NFL season. Now, once again, if Breida is still unemployed, right? If he's unemployed, the Giants don't want to go draft a running back, right? They bring Breida back on the cheap. He's familiar with, Shane. He's familiar with Dable. He's familiar with the offense. He's familiar with the Giants. He's familiar with all that stuff, right? Maybe bring him back, right? Because Singletary is just a very nice back. I'm not going to put him in the upper, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8, 10 running backs in the league, but overall, very, very nice running back. He's not a bell cow. We're going to pound Singletary 29 times this week. We're just going to keep giving him the rock, and we're just going to wear him down. That's not his game, right? But right, pair him up with maybe Gray, and you got Brightwell, right? You got Breida, right, and you got Singletary. Now, of course, you're not going to suit all 4 of those guys up for a game, but that wouldn't be bad if the Giants were not to draft a running back. Okay, but if they were, there are a few of them out there. But there's one in particular I wouldn't mind at all that they were to get, because there's something that, as far as the running backs they have, that they're lacking. Okay. Let's not forget about. They also signed a running back too, right? But going for one on day 3 seems ideal. You got Trey Benson of Florida State, Jalen Wright from Tennessee, Dylan Johnson from Washington, or Allen from Wisconsin. They're possible targets for the Giants, because the guy that they just signed, okay, is Speedy. Okay, the guy that they just wind up signing this past week. He's fast, all right? But you'll notice here, these are the running backs, the top big board. Now you'll notice here, and I've heard this said many times, you may not have a running back taken in the top 50 of the NFL draft. However, from 51 to 100, you could have maybe 5, 6, or 7 of them taken, right? So there's quite a good possibility there's no upper echelon running backs. But if we look here, okay, according to PFF, this is where they rank these guys at. Okay, Jonathan Brooks, the top guy that they have from Texas, right? He's 56, right? But you got 56, 71, 75, and they got 84, 86, 102, and 105, and then you got 113. But so you got from what do you got here? From 56 to 105. So basically, that's about 50 picks right there. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got six. I'm sorry, 6. They got 7 guys, right? So from picks, they're ranking from the 56 best college player to, what did I say, 106, 107, whatever it was. They got like 7 guys, 7 running backs who can go. Now the guy that Brooks is, from what I'm hearing, he would be might be the best, right? But the one guy that they just talked about here, which I like to see, would be Allen. Okay, what he's got, 6'2", 245 pounds. He's a banger. If you need somebody to get that yard, okay, and let's not forget Wisconsin. They do a very good job of churning out running backs. Okay. Good offensive linemen too, but they have a very, very good running game. Okay. Now he was not highly by PFF, but as I said, he was only a junior too. Okay, but 6'2", 245 pounds, and he's only 20 years old. Let's see if they have analysis on him here. Okay, he's a supersized running back prospect and will likely be a mid-round pick due to that and his age alone. He's only 20. However, his decision-making and feel for space leave much to be desired when separating his success from his offensive line. He's a very good linear athlete for his size, explosiveness, and top speed NFL caliber, even without weight adjustments. Can't bring him down if you just hit him high. Okay? Pass protection potential is a big plus. Yeah, because you got somebody who's almost 250 pounds back there. Right? Not used as a receiver much, but had some nice grabs. A few one-handed ones as well, too. Now, there's always some cons. Not a one-cut back in space. But, he's almost 250 pounds. Vision and feel for open space can be inconsistent. Okay. And usage and route diversity are very limited. So, for his maybe his receiving game. Okay. But I mean, if you want to grab somebody in there, you can maybe throw in there maybe a banger. Maybe somebody pick up that the yards and all the short yardage, right? We don't have that, right? The only thing I don't like about somebody like that is if it's 3rd and 1, and you bring them in, right? And you bring in the jumbo package of this, that, and the other thing, and once again you bring him in. Everybody in the stadium knows there's a 99% chance he's getting the ball. Now that's sometimes it makes it a little bit more difficult when they snap the ball and all 11 guys on defense are looking right at him and they're flowing right to where it makes it a little more difficult. But said that the Giants don't have a banger, somebody big in there, right? It can maybe run somebody over or something like that. So if they would have picked somebody like him, if they can get him in the later rounds, I'm all for it. Once again, but I said so. I mean, the Giants they have themselves a nice little collection of running backs. I am still a little bummed out that we didn't re-sign Saquon, but the thing is that Shane, he has his price tag. He has his grocery list, right? He got his grocery list. He got what he needs on there and everything like that. He has the price, and if he's going to go buy a bag of apples, he has his price. The bag of apples has to be $3 or less. Picks up the bag of apples and it says $5. He's putting it down. He's going to look around till he finds a bag of apples that says $3 or less. The Eagles were willing to pay $6 for a bag of apples. Giants are not. So, it is what it is, right? So you got to move on. Whether we sign Saquon or not, right? You do know that somewhere along the line in the future, there's going to be a point in time where Saquon Barkley is not a New York Giant anymore. Whether he retires a Giant or whatever it is, there's somewhere along the line. We got 6 years out of Saquon, which in today's NFL is not too bad. Right, so it is what it is, right? But the Giants, first 3 rounds, absolutely not. A running back, absolutely not. We have too many other holes. Running back is not one of them, especially since we just picked up another running back this past week. Running back is not a position we need. Could we stay and upgrade it? Maybe get a little better depth or something like that, or maybe a banger. Yeah, absolutely. But the first 3 rounds, without question, I think are going to be either, a cornerback, defensive tackle, tight end, quarterback, wide receiver, maybe a safety, one of those, running back. No, I can see running back maybe 4th or 5th round, somebody like that. Absolutely. Sure, absolutely. Especially also one that maybe has produced or has partaken in special teams at the college level as well too. Because especially a running back, if you're coming in, unless they're drafting Saquon Barkley or something like that, if you're drafting a running back, right, in the 4th or 5th round, you're not coming in and you're not starting. So if you do get a uniform, right, and you're on the sideline, right, if you're lucky enough to be drafted in the 5th round as a running back for the Giants this year, and if you somehow get a uniform and you're on the 53, right, and you're going to be maybe playing in the game or something like that, you're going to be playing in the game as on special teams. So that might be something big too to look at. They're going to draft somebody who's had some experience as a special teamer. So, all right. So that's that. But I said, also Estime from Notre Dame. He's very, very good. He's a little shorter, but he's 227 pounds. He was the 3rd highest rated running back, right? Once again, they could probably get him maybe in the 4th round, right? Let's see, what do we got here? I watch Notre Dame, so I watch the Notre Dame games. I don't watch many other games. I don't have enough time, but I try to watch as much Notre Dame as I can. Let's see here. Analysis. Great build for a back. His legs are constantly churning. Takes ball security very seriously. Ball security very seriously. Good. That's huge. There's no quicker way to get yourself back on the bench than to fumble the football. Oh, yeah. pretty light on his feet, his ability to dance and cut, has the size and strength to be a third down back and pass pro. Burst is middling, won't be a home run back. All right. Stiff change of direction, lacks the lateral ability. Blocking could use more polished technique. So let's see. First look. Stats. There we go. All right. So, rushing grade, his zone grade, elusive rating, 126.5, right? Yards after contact. Can't miss tackles. Yards per route run. Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind if they would take somebody like him as well, too. But, I mean, they got plenty. I didn't share my screen. I do apologize. They got plenty of options, But I said the first 3 rounds, then I'd be shocked if they took a running back. Which leads me to my last one here. My last thing here, right? I do believe. I want to make sure here. I don't want to miss nothing there, right? Defensive tackle. We signed a running back. Daniels. Yeah. The one thing I want to bring up here is that this really shocked me here. Now, if you go back and look at the Giants' 3rd round picks. Now, Cordell Flott, the jury's still out on him. Jalen Hyatt, boy, I hope he turns into a home run threat and all that. See, so the jury's still out on those guys, okay? But if you start going back and looking at a lot of, 3rd round pick, I mean, you're talking somebody, pick number, say 70, 80, 75. I mean, you should get yourself, I mean, I'm not saying every draft, but you should find somebody, who you re-sign. Giants ain't doing that. I mean, if you go back, I mean, the 3rd round picks, this is, and I've seen this like last year. Okay. I think you got to go back to the 2004 draft. 2005 draft. When we took Justin Tuck in the 3rd round. Because 2004, we didn't have a 3rd round because we gave that up. We gave away Phillip Rivers and a 3rd round pick to the Chargers to get Manning. But the 3rd round pick, you have to go back to 2005, Justin Tuck. That's almost 20 years ago. Okay. If you include this draft, that'll be 20 drafts, 2005 to 2024. You got to go back 20 drafts. Okay. Where the Giants pick somebody in the 3rd round. Got to go back 20 years, just about. They took somebody in the 3rd round who, after that, their rookie contract was up. They actually gave him a 2nd contract. I mean, that, to me, that almost blew my mind. It's like, there's no way. We had to go all the way back to 2003. Okay. Now you look at here, 2003, Visanthe Shenko. Okay. He had himself a nice career. How many games did he play? 149 games he played in. Unfortunately, for the Giants, most of those games were played with the Vikings. They weren't played with the Giants. Let's look at Visanthe Shenko here. A solid pick, very solid tight end. Okay. But if you look here, he played 4 seasons with the Giants. Of course, they just let him go. Then he played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Played 7 more seasons, but 5 of them with Minnesota. So he played 7 more seasons. So he wound up with like an 11-year career. We drafted him in the 3rd round. He winds up playing 11 seasons, and it was only 4 with the Giants. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it is. What it is with the Giants here, and like the 3rd round picks and all that. I just don't want to re-sign the guys. I have no idea why. No idea. You draft them, you develop them, you sign them, you keep them, and you get right. I mean, like I said, but all the way back to 2005, because you look, Jarvis Wilkinson, he played in 58 games, grand total 58 games, right? 2007, Jay Alford. Now he had that one huge sack in the Super Bowl. He wound up being a long snapper for the Giants as well too. But he got injured. He only played, I think, 2 seasons for the Giants. Then he missed the season, and then he played 1 more year, and that was it. But injuries got him. Okay. Mario Manningham, nice pick. But he only played 4 seasons for the Giants. He had problems with injuries. Then he finished up 2 seasons with the 49ers, right? But he played 4 seasons for the Giants. That was it. Now, a lot of it might have been because of injuries. Now, maybe if he wasn't injured or whatever, maybe, who knows? But, right, he only played 4 seasons for the Giants. And you think, man, you're thinking about the Super Bowl, the 2011 Super Bowl. Why wouldn't we keep that guy? We got Nix, we got Cruz, we got him. Why don't we just keep those guys forever? Never let him go. Give him a big hug. Keep him forever. Oh, 4 seasons, and he's out of there. What? Not a minute. Ramses Barden, Travis Beckham. There you go. Ramses Barden played in 29 games. Travis Beckham, 48 games. Chad Jones, 2010, didn't even make it in the NFL. I can't even click on the guy. Didn't even make it in the NFL. That's a horrible pick. You pick somebody in the 3rd round and doesn't even play in the NFL, that's a horrible freaking pick, Jerry Reese. All right, what we got here? Jarrell Jernigan played in 34 games in the NFL. Ron Hosley played in 43 games in the NFL. Demontre Moore, bust. I think he had a lot of potential, but he only played in 66 games in the NFL. Jay Bromley, 57 games in the NFL. These are 3rd round picks. Odigizua, 18 games in the NFL. Darian Thompson, 63 games in the NFL, but two were with the Giants. He played 6 seasons, 4 of them with the Cowboys. So he played 2 seasons with the Giants. Our 3rd round pick, 2 seasons with the Giants. He's out of here. What are we doing? What are we doing? All right. Up. Jay Bromley, Odigizua, Darian Thompson. He played 2 seasons. Davis Webb. He played 2 games. Lorenzo Carter. Now, B.J. Hill, I don't even know with him if he played 4 seasons, if the Giants would have re-signed him, because it would have cost them some money, because he was a very good pick, and he's still doing very good. Now, could you imagine if we had Dexter Lawrence and him next to each other? We probably wouldn't be looking for another defensive tackle, right? Maybe some depth. But B.J. Hill has done a very good job, especially with Cincinnati. But he didn't play 4 years with the Giants. We draft these guys in the 3rd round, and they don't even play with the Giants. After 4 seasons, we let them go. We trade them, whatever it is. What are we doing? Lorenzo Carter, right? He only played his contract out with the Giants. Then he wound up going, I think, with the Falcons. Let's see here. I mean, he had potential. What is that? Okay, the last 2 seasons was with the Falcons. Okay, but he had potential. Like the first 2 seasons, 4 sacks, 4.5 sacks. Then he got injured. He only had 1. Then his final season with the Giants, once again, another 3rd round pick, plays 4 seasons, and then the Giants just let him go. But I remember he had 5 sacks. I think he got these 5 sacks like in the last 4 games of the season. All of a sudden, it was kind of like somebody went up to him and said, "Hey, Lorenzo, this is a contract year for you, right? This is your last season. You might want to turn on the switch and show what you can do. I want to get some sacks. It might make you some money." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about that." Oh, it was unbelievable. He all of a sudden, it was just like the last 3, 4, 5 games. I'm like, "Damn, Lorenzo, you go, brother." Yeah. I mean, it was a sack machine. Then, of course, the Giants let him go. But the thing is also, okay, the problem is that 2021, he was with the Giants, but he was with Joe Judge. That was Joe Judge's last season, right? In comes Dable and Shane. They look at Lorenzo Carter. They would have to re-sign him, okay? And Shane had no money. So have to let him go. that was quite a possibility there. Now, had we had some money, right, keep him. There's a possibility, right, because he's still just a baby. What is he at? He's 28. He'll be 29 this year, right? But so if we had some money, right, maybe Lorenzo Carter might have got re-signed. But once again, another third-round pick, plays 4 seasons, and he's gone. Said that they're just not doing good with the third-round picks here. Going to pop back up. Oh, all right, well, there we go. Scrolling up to the top here. All right, what we got here? Come on. All right, then we got. Then we go from Lorenzo Carter to Oshane Ximines. He had a very good rookie season, then that was it. Right, almost disappeared. Really had. I mean, after his rookie season, right. He did really good in college for what was it, Old Dominion, right? Yeah, really good in college. And then his first season wasn't bad. We're like, okay, if he starts working on his craft, we might have something here. Nope. He played 4 seasons, and he's gone. 2020, Matt Parrott. He's gone. He's gone. Oh, why? Oh, why? Matt Parrott went to Denver. He's gone. He's gone. Oh, gone. Oh, why? That's a song, I think. It's probably from the 70s or 80s. Yeah. All right. Then we got Aaron Robinson. Now, quite possibly, make the team he could quite possibly be the second corner. However, he had a very bad knee injury, and he's coming back from that. I don't even know if he's even going to make the team, right? But they took him in the 3rd round, right? He had from Central Florida. Very, very promising. But even after as soon as they drafted him, he had to have muscle core surgery, right? And he's always been constantly injured. Let's look here. He's played in 11 games. He's had 3 seasons. 11 games. The guy cannot stay healthy. When he's on the field, you can kind of see, this guy's got some potential here. Guy cannot stay healthy. He missed all last season, right? Trying to come back from that knee injury. What did he do? His rookie season, he played 9 games, and then in 2022, he played in 2 games. So his past 2 seasons, he's played in 2 games. I mean, there's a ton of reasons why the Giants have not re-signed the 3rd-round picks basically since Justin Tuck. It's either, they don't make the 4 years, they have injuries, we trade them, they play 4 years and we let them go, whatever. There's a plethora of reasons why. But I'll tell you what, we have done a very poor job over the past basically almost 20 drafts. Once again, Flott, okay, still, and Hyatt. I hope we hit a home run with Hyatt. I hope he's the greatest wide receiver of all time. But we've done a very poor job with our 3rd-round picks over the past 20 drafts. I say Aaron Robinson. I say Cordell Flott, Joshua Zudo. This so far disappointment. You draft a guard in the 3rd round. I'm not saying the guy's got to be the next John Hanna or something like that. Okay, but. You had visions of this guy taking over. Now obviously injuries, but also he's not. But sometimes we've had him out of tackle, I believe, where he's not really supposed to be. He's maybe playing out of positional and everything like that. But once again, a slight disappointment so far, right, for Joshua Zudo. I say the jury's out on Cordell Flott, right? Because, we need guys in the secondary this season, right? That's for sure. And then, of course, we got Jalen Hyatt. Now, obviously, he had some moments there last season without question, right? He had some moments. But, he needs to, step it up a little bit, work on his craft and hopefully get a little bit better. But, right, with better offensive play, with maybe a dog of a wide receiver that'll help open stuff up for him. Because, you put a dog on one side and you put Jalen Hyatt on another side, it's kind of tough, right, for the defense to kind of, oh, what's up, buddy? What's up, Ruben? Kind of tough for the defense to say, okay, we got a Dunzier over here, we got Hyde over there, and then we got Wandell Rob running his patterns underneath and all that. That opens stuff up. So the Giants didn't really have that too much, especially. I mean, that's Slayton on one side. Let's not forget, Slayton's fast. Let's not forget. Okay, he's not a dog. He's not a number one wide receiver, though. But let's also not forget that it's kind of tough for whichever one of the 1,342 quarterbacks we had playing for us last year, when they get the ball, as the ball's hitting their hands and they're looking downfield like this, there's 38 guys on top of them sacking them. It's kind of tough to throw deep patterns that way. Right. So once again, let's hope the offensive line starts gelling and Brasillo can get the best out of the guys. I said, we don't have to be a top 10 unit, but can we get into the middle of the pack, 15, 16, somewhere around there? That would be a huge improvement, right? But if we can do something like that, that would once again start opening stuff up down the field, right? For Hyatt. But we definitely need, without question, I mean, as I said, I just showed, the past 20 or so drafts, the Giants are their third round picks. We're just not resigning them. I mean, it's why? I mean, there's been a bunch of reasons. The guys, some guys got hurt, like Aaron Robinson. Some guys aren't performing really well, like maybe Joshua Zudo. Some guys only played a couple seasons, like Jaron Hosley, and then they want to play in someplace else. Some guys played 4 seasons with the Giants, and then they want to play in 7 or 8 seasons elsewhere, like Visante Shenko. But for some reason, like Mario Manningham, right? He has had some injuries. But when guys do play 4 seasons for the Giants, we just never re-sign them. And I really found it really shocking that we have to go back to 2005. So we found a third-round pick that we played 4 seasons, and then we actually signed him to another contract. I mean, you got to go back like almost 20 years. So we got to do a better job, because a third-round pick is somebody you should be a building block with. I'm not saying he's got to be an all-pro, Hall of Famer, like that, but somebody you can certainly build with and get some good reps out of, without question. And you develop them, right? And you want to keep them, right? But and if they're not, super spectacular, they shouldn't cost you a boatload of money. To see Darren Beavers, yep, that's what I'm saying. Let's not forget about him. Because you talk about, some of the gurus and all of that. And once again, they know so much more than I do. But, some of the people talking about, we might want to get a linebacker or something like that. Well, yeah, I'm sure maybe get some depth. Yeah, but like I said, let's not forget about Beavers, because he got injured 2 seasons ago. He came back last season, right? And his injury, usually it's the second season that he should be better. And just from what I'm hearing and heard last year, he was out there running around and all and everything, but he wasn't quite as impressive as he was in in 2022 in the preseason before he got hurt. He was like flying all over the place, size and everything. I mean, he could be a sleeper without question. But when he tried to come back last season, he wasn't maybe quite himself. So let's see what he does this season, because a lot of times they say you get from the ACL and all, right? Might be your second season you come back, you're just as good as you were before, if not better. Somehow, if that's possible, right? So he could be a sleeper. So if Beavers comes on, right? If we got a Carrick, McFadden, and Beavers, that'd be 3 nice guys we might have, as far as in the interior linebackers, right? But yeah, don't sleep on him. Don't sleep. I'm very anxious to see what he's got to do, because I said, because he seemed very promising in the 2022 preseason. Yeah, in the 4th round. Yeah. See, but it's going to be interesting because you got to remember the 4-3. Because if you're looking at like the traditional 4-3, you got 2 defensive ends or edge rushers, and you got 2 tackles. So that's 4. Then in the 3, if you're going back to my time, you got an outside linebacker, you got another outside linebacker, and you got a middle linebacker. That's 7 guys. Well, there's no 4 3s anymore. Now because you got to have like 3 cornerbacks. You got to have 2 outside cornerbacks, and you got to have your slot cornerback, and then you got to have 2 safeties. Or sometimes, if it's a passing down, you might have 3 safeties and 3 cornerbacks. So it's times have certainly changed, that's for sure. I'm used to 4-3 or 3-4 or 4-3s, absolutely. But to actually have 4 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers on the field, that don't happen too much anymore. But it's like somebody like with him, Beavers is like where they're going to put him. That's one of those things that Bowen's got to figure out. Like, where's he going to put Beavers makes the team and all? Where's he going to put him? Where's he going to put Isaiah Simmons at too? Because you got to try to figure out because they just brought Isaiah Simmons back too, which I'm very happy about. Hey man, if you can keep bringing back good, solid, stud, guys on defense, good freakish athletes, I'm all for it. So we bring Isaiah Simmons back, great. But I'm anxious to see where they're going to want to put him at. I think the 3-4 defense. Well, we'll have to wait and see. I know Bowen, he seems to like to get four guys on the front. And he likes to get pressure with the 4 guys. So I don't know if you're going to see many, with just the 3. You have to wait and see. But I know with Bowen, especially because when he likes to maybe send 4 guys and also be able to stop the run as well. So get pressure on the quarterback, also stop the run. So Bowen seems like he's more like a 4, whatever, 4-2, 4, however you want to put it. Because you got 4 defensive linemen and however many linebackers you got on the field. Because things are so changed nowadays. And that's the thing is it's a lot of it's so much like, disguising everything, because if you have, say, 3 safeties and 3 cornerbacks in there, cool. Because then any one of those guys can come, right? If you got a safety, the safety could blitz, the safety could pick up a running back, the safety could pick up a tight end, the safety could stay in the box. The safety can do a lot of things. If you got 3 cornerbacks out there, say a cornerback can blitz, cornerback could pick up a slot guy, cornerback could pick up a running back, anything. If you got, if you got nothing but a bunch of you got 4 big, huge defensive linemen on there, you're not going to have many of them dropping in coverage. But so that's why it seems like, with the having all those extra guys in the secondary, that helps disguise some of that. What do you think? Well, as I said, I was going over him. He's going to be 32 years old. Okay. He's a big freaking dude. He's almost about as big as like Ashawn Robinson. He's like 340. So when you got him and Sexy Dexy next to each other, you got almost about 700 pounds worth of beef there in the middle. Right. But he's just kind of he's like a torch holder. I think the Dolphins drafted him. I think it was in the second round of the 2015 NFL draft. So this is going to be like his 10th season. There's a familiarity there with Shane and Dable because Shane and he was there. He's been with Buffalo 2 times. He was with Buffalo in 2018 and 19, and then he was with Buffalo in 2022 and 23. So obviously, when Phillips was there in Buffalo in 2018 and 19, Shane and Dable were there. So they got the familiarity there with him. So but as I said, he's going to be 30. I think it was September 21st. He's going to be 32 years old. I'm sure if they signed him, it's probably just a 1 year, and now if you look at it, we got Phillips, we got Dexter Lawrence, we got Nacho, we got Ryder Anderson, we got Jordan Riley, we got DJ Davidson. I'm sure I'm probably forgetting somebody, and we might even draft somebody in the later round. So you don't even know if the guy will even make the team, but once again, bringing some good competition. As I said, if he does make the team, if anything, he'll be pretty much like a run stuffer, because he's a big guy. As I said, if you get anything out of the pass rush from him, it probably won't be much at all. But bringing some competition, and he's cheap. Sure. Absolutely. I think it's a good pick. But as I said, but if anything, he'll probably just going to be here for a year. I'm a little bummed out that we let Oshane Robinson go because he was really coming on toward the end of last season. He was trying to recover from an injury. So in the beginning of the last season, the middle of last season, he was still kind of seemed like he was recovering. But toward the last 4, 5, 6 games or so last season, Oshane Robinson was really, really doing good. The problem is that now he's with the Panthers. So they got Oshane Robinson and we got Brian Burns, right? Because basically they saved some money by getting rid of Brian Burns, and the money they saved, they want to take an Oshane Robinson with them. But it is what it is. I mean, we got holes. We got to fill some holes. But I would really like somewhere along the line, either this year or next year, to be able to get like a nice defensive tackle. Now if we look here, I mean, I go back here. Let me go here. Let me share my screen here. We go all the way back to 2000. The Giants have done a very good job in the second and third round of picking up some defensive tackles. So we go back to 2000. We take Cornelius Griffin from Alabama in the second round. He was very, very good. Unfortunately, he played 4 seasons for the Giants here. 2000, the second round, played 4 seasons for the Giants, and then I think he finished his career with the Redskins. Right. Then you look here. All right, not there. But, there's a period of time here. We wound up second and third rounds. Okay, second round here. Oh, we took William Joseph, but in the second round, Osi Umenyiora. Let's see. Third round here, Justin Tuck. Right? We did very, very good in the second and third rounds as far as drafting some really good defensive tackles. Okay, not that year. Jay Alford, unfortunately for him, he got injured. He only played 2 seasons for us. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, nothing here. Where we at? Linval Joseph, JPP, first round with Linval Joseph. I think he's still playing. I mean, the guy's been around to 2010. I know he was playing last year, right? I mean, we're not talking a Hall of Fame or nothing, but he's had a long NFL career. Marvin Austin, he didn't work out too well. Let's see here. Okay, Jonathan Hankins, second round pick. Very, very good. Jay Bromley, he only played in 57 games. Odigizua, no, he didn't do too well. But then I know we got Dalvin Tomlinson here. We took in the second round here, Dalvin Tomlinson. Of course, then we got, of course, in the first round we took Sexy Dexy. So if you go back to like 2000, the Giants have done Dalvin Tomlinson. Yeah, yep. I was bummed out, but the problem was with him is that we had Leonard Williams, we had Sexy Dexy, and then we had Dalvin. So when Dalvin Tomlinson, after his 4 seasons was up, it was either pay him and then somewhere along the line pay Dexy and Leonard Williams. It was like, oh, I forgot, B.J. Hill took him in the third round too. Unfortunately, we want to trade him away to get Price from the Bengals. He's doing very well there. So so that you go back. The Giants have done very, very well in the second and third rounds as far as taking a defensive tackle. And I'll tell you what, if they took a defensive tackle to put next to, I wouldn't. We got a lot of holes, but see, to me, I like it. Stuff starts in the trenches. If you can get the trenches right, then you can start working out from there. I said if we can get somebody next to Dexy, and you got Burns, and we got Thibodeau, that's a nice foursome right there. And then you can bring Azeez Ojulari off the bench, to relieve one of those guys or is what I've heard too, right? If it's a passing down, say it's third down and whatever, 3rd and 10, and there's a good chance the other team's going to pass, right? You get Azeez Ojulari in there. You get on one end, you got Burns on the other one. Maybe you slide Kayvon Thibodeau in next to Dexy, right? So then you got 3 guys that can rush the quarterback. Sexy Dexy's pushing the pocket. That could be very intimidating. That could really, really be good. But getting back to the defensive tackle, if we drafted somebody in the second round as a defensive tackle, I wouldn't, So we need a cornerback. We're still looking maybe to get a wide receiver. So we got holes to fill. But I said, but if we took a defensive tackle to put next to Dexy, I would be fine with that. Absolutely fine with that. All right, guys, been 1 hour and 20 minutes. Ruben, good talking to you, buddy. Thanks for chiming in. I greatly appreciate it, man. So it's been 1 hour and 20 minutes. Whoever spent any time listening to me live, thank you. Or if anybody's going to spend any time watching the replays, once again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me. As always, you guys stay safe out there and go Giants. Woo! Oh, yeah.